Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Heather Lewis, and today we are going to be doing a flip that I found at Goodwill. There is a little bit of damage to it. Some of the veneer is peeling off, so I'm going to show you how to deal with that by either removing it or gluing it. So if that is something you are interested in, just keep on watching. Hey everyone, so this is today's piece that we are going to be working on today. I actually got it at Goodwill for only $20, which I thought was a great deal because it's a solid wood piece. There is, however, some minor damage that I will get into later in the video. First, I'm starting off by removing that terrible Goodwill sticker. I've mentioned this before, but I really wish they wouldn't leave those stickers on. You can see it leaves a sticky residue, but once the sticker is off, then like usual, I'm starting to take off the hardware. You can see in that top drawer there is a brand name or a manufacturer stamp or whatever you want to call it. The brand is Limitation. I don't necessarily know the brand myself, but it's always nice when companies have that because then it just proves that it's a solid piece. And as I'm taking the hardware off, I'm also pulling out the drawers. This is just going to make it easier when it comes time to cleaning and painting. You don't need the drawers in until the piece is practically completely finished. As soon as the hardware is off and the drawers are out, I move into cleaning. I like to use Dawn dish soap in warm water. It's just, an affordable cleaner that I'm sure more than half of us have in our homes already. It helps with cutting grease and just really getting the dirt and grime that is on the piece off. And then I also use a microfiber towel to wipe it off. Now that cleaning is finished, I'm showing you the damage here that I was talking about. Some of this veneer is just peeling and ripping off. Most of it is pretty easy to where I can just rip it off, but I'm also taking this putty knife to help guide the rest of it off. I decided it's better to take it off instead of gluing because there was already pieces missing to it and it is coming off really easy, so I figured to just take it off, especially since this is a solid piece of wood underneath. It's not plywood or anything, so that makes it easier. And then for the little bit that I couldn't get off, I did quite a bit of sanding with an 80 grit sandpaper just to make it smooth. And then as I was doing that, I also went in and did a nice scuff sand as well. And the point of scuff sanding is not to remove the finish. I do think I maybe should have moved up a little bit in grit. I probably shouldn't have stayed at an 80 grit for this, but the point is not to take the finish off. It is just to scratch the surface up so the paint has something to adhere to, and primer will also help with that as well. You can see that I'm also going back in with a microfiber towel just to make sure that I get all of those particles off. You definitely have to do this after scuff sanding. You don't want that in your paint. As I was scuff sanding, I did notice a little chip, so I am going in with my color changing wood filler and filling in that little chip on the corner there. I am going to leave this product in my description box down below because I do really love this product. I think it's better than that grainy wood filler that I started out with, so if you haven't tried it yet, definitely try that, and I'll leave it down below. Now I hate wasting time when I know other things can be done, so I am going in with my primer, and I'm starting on the drawers because I don't have any wood filler that needs to dry there. So I am just using my Zinsser 321 primer. If you have been watching my videos, you know that this is my go-to stuff. I definitely have to try and expand on my primer horizons, but once you find something that you love, you just kind of want to stick with it because you trust it, and that's definitely what I'm doing. I'm also going on the dresser as well. I'm just trying to avoid the spot that has the wood filler drying. For me, there's no point in waiting to prime the entire dresser for that one tiny corner, so I'm just making sure to avoid that, and I'll go in and sand it down later and then get to painting. I let the wood filler and primer dry for a couple hours, and then I went ahead and sanded down the wood filler just to make sure that it was smooth and looking good and feeling good as well. And I started to get ready to paint. For this project, I am using Jolie paint in the color Classic Navy. I know I haven't showed it a lot on my channel, but Jolie paint was actually one of the first furniture paints that I actually used. So I have a deep love for Jolie paint, and I definitely think that I'm going to be using it on my channel more. I just ended up finding more and more paint companies, and I have learned to fall in love with so many that it's hard to use them all. You can see that I'm actually rolling on the paint. This is the first time that I'm rolling Jolie paint, but a lot of you said that it is okay to roll on paint. The only other paint that I've rolled on is Beyond Paint, and that's because they recommend it. But I am rolling on the paint for the first time because I just want to see how smooth of a finish that I can get, and then I can decide from there if I want to do that on other projects or not. Real quick, I do want to mention that I've decided to spray paint the hardware gold. I think the Classic Navy and gold look so well together, and before I started YouTube, this was practically the only combo I would do on every piece, but it just sells out so fast. As I'm rolling on, I'm just making sure that there aren't any huge texture marks. I am putting on a pretty thin layer just because I am finishing up a can of paint, so I want to be very diligent with what I have. So I'm just making sure to do a thin layer and not overcoat anything by accident. And I'm just making sure to go through the entire dresser and the drawer fronts as well. As I let the first coat dry, I did see that it was pretty textured, and I was thinking that I was going to have to go into the second coat with scuff sanding in between, but Jolie paint has a really good self-leveling property, and by the time I came back to do the second coat when everything was dry, it was very smooth, so fortunately I didn't have to do that. I'm not the biggest fan of scuff sanding in between, but I typically find that I have pretty smooth finishes anyways. You just have to make sure that you are really checking what you're doing, and just going over those parts that are roughed up or unlevel, I guess you could say. before they dry. But then again, you also have to be kind of careful because a lot of these paints you aren't supposed to go back over with several times. Then once again, after I finished the second coat, I had to let that dry for a couple hours so that we could get into the top coat. Now, I am a big poly girl, but for today's video, I decided to branch out and use Jolie's finishing wax in the clear color. I have done this before, but I'm still pretty new to waxing my pieces down. I don't even know what brush I'm using right now, but I will tell you it leaves a lot of bristles, so if you have a good recommendation for waxing brushes, let me know in the comments down below. As for the technique, I am just going in a circular motion, making sure to cover the entire piece down. This is a really good arm workout if you want a workout. So after I waxed down the top section, I went ahead and wiped the excess off with a microfiber towel. You are supposed to use a lint-free cloth, but I didn't have those laying around, and I'm definitely going to be getting some. But for now, that is what I had, and it turned out. Anyway, I am making sure to do that process in each section of the dresser, doing the circular motions. I think some people do wax down the entire piece and then go back and wipe the excess off, so you can definitely do that as well. I just decided to go in sections so that I could really watch what I was doing, as I'm still kind of a beginner with waxing. Once the wax was starting to set in, which I believe takes about 24 hours, I put on the hardware and put the drawers back in so that we could get into the final reveal. I love these quick and easy flips, and I really love the navy and gold combo. As I mentioned in the video, that was one of the combos that I did like kind of one after another. It was that and the farmhouse, where I would stain the tops and I would paint the body white. Those two combos work really well for me in my location, and I think they will always be a constant staple in people's homes, so I know for sure that this will sell out pretty quick. But before I let you guys go, I do want to go over the numbers with you guys. So as I mentioned in the video, I did get this piece for $20 from Goodwill, and most of the materials that I already had laying around, so I'm just gonna put $10 in for materials. I didn't have to go out and actually buy anything for this project, so I want to say my all-in is at $30. Now, because my market has seemed to have slowed down this season, I am going to be listing it at a lower price to hopefully get it out of here just as fast as I got it in here. So I am going to be listing it for $125. It is a little bit of a smaller dresser too, so I think that's a good price range, and hopefully it'll sell out super quick. If everything goes according to a plan, I will make a profit of $95 for this flip. Again, it was super quick and easy, so I think $95 is a really great profit margin. If you like this flip, please make sure you give it a thumbs up because it really does help our channel grow. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button down below as well. That's gonna help us out so much as well. We're trying to keep growing this community and we are very small right now, but we're getting there. So yeah, that is it. I will see you guys Monday for the next video. All right, see ya, bye.